Hey guys, we all know truck driving in itself is stressful, but for us as people of color truck drivers to have to deal with all the prejudices and still do our job without thinking about it or trying not to think about it, it's really hard. Um, when it's not even called for. Like I said, I was in Idaho the other day, and I don't know who did it, but I'm quite sure, of who did it. Someone pulled my electrical lines as a joke, I guess, which I did not find funny at all, and I did not see anyone of color around at all. So quite sure it wasn't, someone who looked like me that did that. So always check your truck. Check everything before you get in your truck and drive. Especially if you stop for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. When your truck is out of your view, check your truck, because you want to be safe on these roads. I'm doing this video because I'm still a little upset. I just called Walmart Ethics and I made a complaint. But I did a lot of us, we go through so much. I talked to a driver once, and I asked him, how do you handle all the prejudice? And I've done a video on the prejudice when I was training, trying to deal with the people following me around the store situation. And for the staff to tell me, oh, she follows all the black people, And it was just too much. And I think that was at the Flying J. Yeah. And you watched my video, Terrible Teresa, I think it was Terrible Teresa at Flying J's. I think that's the video. And I cannot stomach or watch the movie The Hate U Give, because even the meaning of it, I probably couldn't take it. And I want to, I just left out of Walmart in Nevada. I was in the Walmart. The lady saw me. I was going to ask them about a product, and she looked at me like I was the worst thing she had ever seen in her life. Like I was going to hurt her or something. And I was like, okay, let me just look for what I'm looking for. And so she talks out loud. She said, oh, they keep playing that Jungle Bunny music up in here. So she wanted to make sure I heard her. All this Jungle Bunny music. She said it again. I said, and I looked over and I saw her name on her tag. I said, okay, Michelle, I heard you. I know you're making sure that I hear you. I hear you. And I said, you know what? You're the problem. You are the problem. I haven't said a word to you. I was going to ask you for your help. I did not. And I said, that was very uncalled for. Most people, and I hate to say it, most of us would have walked out of the store and kept on shopping or cursed her out. Because I don't even really curse. We would have made the situation, it was already a bad situation. It was a terrible situation. But we would have made it so bad that we would have ended up in jail, wanting to fight and all this kind of stuff. That's not necessary. Sometimes you have to educate them, because some of them are just that stupid. Not all, but a lot are just as stupid. That they don't know that we are only the lessest part of the population. And what are you afraid of? And I'm going to tell you a little story. Now you imagine all the mothers and fathers that have to go to work around people like her throughout the years, in the 60s and the 50s and 70s, and have to go back home. And all the tears these kids watch their mothers and their grandfathers cry or put their head down or feel lesser than a man or lesser than a woman, because they had to deal with racial slurs and put downs and being degraded. I can even remember me cleaning this woman's floor. I didn't get down on my knees and clean her floor because that's what I do. It was just that dirty. And I cleaned it, and she was just ecstatic about it. Okay? I didn't work for her too long. And, that's the hate that you give. And I'm just saying, that movie, I can't watch the movie because it would be too much for me. But it's terrible. So I told her manager, I called Walmart and complained. Enough is enough. Okay? That was so uncalled for. And I'm going to tell you a story, finish telling you a story about another truck driver. I asked him, how do you deal with all this prejudice and hate when we go to a store? It's bad enough we have to deal with the other truck drivers, and I'm a woman and a boy driving a truck. I get double whammies, okay? So, you think about this. A driver delivering a load to a store, and he goes to use, you know what? I had to use the bathroom when I was in there. I couldn't even go to the bathroom because I was trying to get out of there, okay? Imagine a driver dropping off a load. This is a true story. And he topped my story. He's in the bathroom, using the bathroom, and there's a knock on the door while he's in the bathroom. It's the police. They pull him out of the bathroom and arrest him, handcuffs and all. Mind you, he has a truck in the dock. He's a delivery driver. The staff has called the police on him. One of the staff members called the police because they saw a black man go into the bathroom and said he stole something. He didn't steal anything. He had his clipboard in his hand. You know, and then you wonder why. Think about it. Think about this scenario. You have a young black man watching his mother cry because she has been degraded, and she has to get up in the morning and go back to that same job that she's been degraded at. This little man is full of anger and full of hate and disdain for white people for treating his mom that way. Okay? So if you're in a black neighborhood and he can't afford to get out of it, and he's too afraid to even leave it, who do you think he's going to take his anger out on? Other black people. And you say, why? So now you blaming all the crime that black people do on us? Yes, most of it. Because you have to think about where it stems from. It stems from the hate you give. And these kids are frustrated. They are angry. And a lot of them hate themselves to the point they hate each other. And the only people that can fix it are the ones who started it. The ones who did it. The ones who started slavery and all this hate and apartheid and the Jim Crows and all of this. You started it. You're the only one can fix it. Oh my goodness. I went in to buy what I usually buy, my Lysol. Can't even buy Lysol in the store. Who bought all of it? You are afraid of something? You've been so afraid of us, but you're afraid of something? Who's buying Lysol and tissue? Who's doing that? Because we have been through so much. Ebola. Syphilis, which white people injected into us. And by the way, black people don't take no shots. I just heard on Lars, whatever, the Republican radio station, that one scientist or doctor is hoping that they don't decide to put this disease in us and see if they can cure it. He said he's hoping they don't do that. I'm hoping they don't do another Tuskegee. Think about it, guys. We don't have it that easy. Be careful. Be careful with your doctors. So what I'm saying, take care of yourself. Eat better. If you have a way to grow your garden, grow your food. Exercise. Do what you have to do to stay healthy. Make some real chicken soup, like my friend said. Make real chicken soup. Not just canned soup. Make real chicken soup. And just try to eat healthier. Stay out of all these restaurants all the time. Don't constantly eat at these restaurants. Because a lot of people don't wash their hands, period. Or cook the food well. Be careful. This is a time we should not be divided. Like I said before, God put us all here together for a reason. Not to hurt each other. Not to say terrible things to each other. And for her to make sure that I heard Jungle Bunny. Because she said it twice. Hoping that she could offend me to the point where I would just bow down and walk out the door with my head between my knees. It's time to stop all the hate. It's time to stop saying things like, oh, I have a black friend. Oh, I have a white friend. And just start saying, I have a friend. We need to get to the point where we can say, I have a friend. That's where we need to be. And I'm going to say this. I never forget, I went to my childhood best friend's house. I keep in touch with two of my, well, several, but my two main ones who I stay with one every time I go down there. And then my other best friend, who was my best friend, you know, before the other one was my best friend. I went to her house and visited her and her daughter and her husband. Beautiful people. You know, they were real close to my dad. Really, her father and my dad were like this. So, and my mom and her mom were friends with my mom, lived there. You know, her mom would even take my mom to her church. You know, she didn't care what people said. She took her to her church. And my son said, Mom, after we left her house, you didn't tell me your friend was white. And I looked at him and I said, because she's just my friend. I don't look at her like she's a color. And I don't. Because she's just a person. She's my best friend. To me, she still looks the same. She looks the same. She has the prettiest face. And she still looks the same. She didn't age. When people say white people age, she didn't age. Okay? She's beautiful. She's just my friend. She's not a color. She's not a skin color. Because you have to realize we come in all shapes, all skin tones, all colors. Okay? So growing up, we didn't look at it like that, you know? And our father shielded us from prejudice and all that kind of stuff. I didn't learn anything about it until I was 15 and came to Chicago. And that's when it hit me. I walked into a school and it was just black people. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I've always been just everybody, just mixed, you know? And it just never dawned on me that a place would be that segregated. Okay, enough of this rant. Walmart, you got to do better. You got to give a class on ethics. I know you have a great ethics department, but you got to do like Starbucks, because that could have turned ugly if I was a uglier person, you know. You know, it's just ridiculous. And I don't get it. You're working, I'm working, you know. Just work and take care of your family. Be happy. It shouldn't take an outbreak of a virus to make you think about yourself and your family and stop badgering and hating and putting down and taking away opportunities from other people's families. It's like believing Mexicans come here and steal jobs. How in the hell can you steal a job? They didn't. The job was given to them and they did it and they do it well. So stop that, people. Stop saying they're stealing jobs. They're not stealing jobs. They've been given jobs. If you want to hate somebody, be mad at the people that gave them the job. And just stop it. Stop all the hate. Realize that you are being subjugated and used to promote this hate and pay more taxes. Okay? So just stop it. Just love. Love is so easy. Helping it is so easy. Today, a guy, he jumped in my truck, but for some reason in California, doors are uneven. Even my cousin's doors were uneven, and something's going on in California. All of us were trying to close our truck doors, and the doors were just uneven. And they said maybe it's the ground. But be careful. I don't know what that was about. That was so weird that we all couldn't close our doors. Another driver jumped inside my truck to weigh down my truck so we can get the doors closed. So I don't know what's going on in California. But just be careful, guys. Okay, like I said, 15-minute rant, that's enough. And I just want to say, start loving each other. Just try to be happy. We all only live one time. And we don't want to pass along the hate. We want to pass along the love so we all could be happy for the short time that we're here. Bye-bye, guys. Have a good night. Subscribe to